50 kilometers per hour on the edge action in eco mode on the Ather 450.
So a quick disclaimer before you watch this video. I'm putting this up on the 26th or 27th of March while we're in lockdown, but I actually rode the Ather 450 in December 2019, one wet, rainy morning in Chennai in December. It's just that I'm putting up the video now, so it's not that I went out and rode the bike now. Two, in fact, Ather has launched a newer version of the scooter now, but I don't think that really matters because this is just about my first experience riding this particular EV, and I actually have a lot to say about the Ather, but this is the video to just get us going. Maybe we'll talk about that in the future. Just these two things that I wanted to let you know. Go ahead and watch the video now.
Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Rohit, toll-free traveler. It's a nice rainy day here in Chennai, and today I'm with the Ather 450, which is currently one of the most talked about electric scooters in India. The product's definitely packaged and showcased very well on their website, and they say that they're sold out on pre-orders for like 6 months or so. So in Bangalore, very popular. I think they're now available in Chennai as well. A friend of a friend happened to own one of these already, and he was kind enough to lend it to me for a few days. I intend to use it a little bit just to get familiar with this whole electric ecosystem and see where we stand on it today. It is something that everybody's talking about. Now, it goes without saying that EVs on two-wheelers as they currently stand are primarily intended for city use, just because the ecosystem is very nascent. But I'm toll-free traveler, and I'm always drawn to finding a reason to get out of the city, and I'm heading to Mahabalipuram today. I have some work there, so I figured why not take this little lady along and we'll see how it goes. The 450 has 3 riding modes. There's Eco, there's Ride, and there's Sport. As the name suggests, Eco is low speed, high range, Ride is sort of middle, and Sport is high speed, low range. So the claimed figures are about 75 kilometers on Eco, 65 on Ride, and 55 on Sport. The battery was charged up last night, but I started this morning at about 96%, and it was showing me a range of about 71 kilometers. On Eco, it's currently showing me 67 kilometers. It'll take me a while to get used to the idea that it makes no sound when you're parked at a signal. I'm tempted to sort of rev it a little bit for the idling, because that's what we do on our motorcycles and scooters generally. But if you did that on this, you would just shoot out, because obviously it's on, and twist the throttle and you go. So I'm going to ride in Eco until I get outside the city traffic, because anyway it's not like you can do very high speeds. But maybe we'll do a little bit of Ride mode once we clear traffic, because barely 10 minutes into the ride and it's already like, what's going on, man? Let's go, let's go, let's go. Eco mode is just boring. On Eco mode, it seems to top out at about 47 kilometers per hour. Maybe like over a distance it'll hit 50, but that's as much as it does on Eco mode. If I were on an Activa, I would be going faster right now. Look at that, the scooty is overtaking me. The battery is already down to 86%. The range left shows as 64 kilometers. I'm doing about 50 kilometers per hour. I've so far been fully only in Eco mode. Couple of things I want to mention right off the bat. This seat is very uncomfortable. There's a steep lean angle on it, leaning forward, and you just keep sliding forward on the seat. So you literally need to push yourself back to have any kind of comfort. I don't know why it has such a high sort of shape, the bucket shape. Maybe the thought was to give you comfort, but it's not been done particularly well. So it just keeps making you slide forward. So 15 minutes into it and the seat is already uncomfortable. I'm gonna do you guys a favor. I'm gonna play some music in the background. I'm gonna probably double up the speed of this video and get you to the next point where we talk. Let's go. There's an Activa guy following me. I think he's looking at what this curious machine is. No, he's not. He's not even interested. Oh yeah, he is. The one good thing I will tell you is that technically on this road, at least in this part, the speed limit is 40 kilometers per hour. I know that this is the case in different parts of India as well, and most often the speed limit is absolutely ridiculous and it's almost impossible to adhere to the speed limit because it's 40 kilometers per hour, guys. Like, I know if you ride bikes, you drive cars, how do you stay that slow? The answer is eco mode on the Ather 450. We are currently topping out at about 50 kilometers per hour per the speedometer on the EV, but I don't particularly believe it because it feels like 20. To be noted is that this ride is likely to be more pocket friendly than all my other motorcycle rides even, because not only are we toll free, but we are also petrol free. No fueling up on this ride. Battery vandi. Ama. Okay, I'm going to stop calling this an electric vehicle. I'm going to call it a battery vandi. That's what it is in Tamil Nadu. Battery vandi. EV be damned, this is a BV. I like my own jokes. This is what happens when you're riding at 40 kilometers per hour. Again, in my best estimate, 20 to 30 kilometers at most from here to where we're going. Shall we switch to the ride mode? 52 kilometers on eco. Drop the throttle. Can we move to ride now? On ride it says 45 kilometers. Cool. Oh, that's a whole lot better. We are at an astounding 62 kilometers per hour right now, but it really feels like a world apart from what we were doing on eco. And now we're suddenly just overtaking the Activas. Petrol boys. If I manage to charge the Ather while I'm there, on the way back I'm putting it in sports mode and riding all the way back. Based on the stats that I'm getting from the Ather right now, I think we are going to make it to Mahabs quite comfortably. But I do have a few thoughts. There's no denying that this whole electric vehicle movement is really fascinating and really interesting and has a lot of potential. But when you're looking at it practically, as of today, and you're using it, we have to realize that it does require a significant amount of planning. Primarily because the grid network for recharging and stuff is not, it's almost non-existent as of date. It will continue to grow hopefully. But also that if you want to stop to charge, it's going to take time, unlike filling up fuel, which is like just wait in line, tank up, get out and keep going. Here a charge is going to take time. Like what that time is depends on how much charge you need, of course. So even if you had a charging network all the time, you may not be able to spare the time to charge. So at the end of the day, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to plan ahead significantly. Oh man, I'm so sleepy. This thing is definitely unique and different, but it's not particularly engaging. And whether you like it or not, your eyes keep going down to your range and battery level. And that's something that I don't particularly enjoy. I mean, when you're on the road, whether you're in the city, whether you're out on the highway, you want to tank up and then you go. As in, once your fuel gauge is low, then you start wondering, oh, will I make it there? Do I have to go to a petrol bunk? Do I have to do this? But once you've put in a little bit of fuel, you know that, okay, your bike's going to go, your scooter's going to run. And that gives you some amount of peace of mind. Whereas with this, I mean, this is my first day on it also, but I constantly find myself looking down at this, and the numbers are relevant. There's information popping at me. I know I'm going to get to Mahabalipuram, that's not a problem, and yet I'm looking at how much battery life I have. I'm looking at what range I have left. And to be honest, think about it. Very few people, I mean, there are people who do that, fill up for 50 bucks and ride a bike, and then fill up for 50 bucks, fill up for 50 bucks. But most of us, I would assume, put a few hundred rupees of petrol in so that we have a range of at least 100 kilometers or 200 kilometers or whatever it is. And we're not constantly riding at this range of below 50 kilometers. And that's kind of relevant, because even at full charge on this, you're looking at, unless you somehow miraculously have the patience to just stay in eco mode always, you're looking at a range of under 60 kilometers at any point in time. Is that really range? I mean, if you're riding 2 kilometers a day and back home to work, maybe that counts as range. But that's not how I see people using scooters. Scooters have always been like the do-all vehicle of the house. We have a 10-year-old Activa in our house, and it still runs. It barely costs anything to maintain. It is of course hugely rusted, and that's for different reasons. But even recently I've been using that scooter so much because it's the most convenient way to get into like city markets and go buy stuff and put it in the front and carry it back. Generally you park it anywhere, you don't care whether someone scratches it, anything happens to it. The scooter is a mass vehicle, and it's used for anything and everything, and it's easy for anyone in the house to ride, and that's just how it is. But when you do this, if two of you are using this scooter, then you have to be mindful of keeping charge enough for the other person, otherwise it will delay their plan by a few hours because they have to charge it and go. So really, that 60 kilometer range for me, I don't know whether that actually counts as range for a scooter. For a cycle, maybe. But if you're talking about a scooter, on that note, let me tell you that we have now entered the boundary of Mahabalipuram. Okay, now we will switch back to eco mode and peacefully roll into the little town of Mahabalipuram. Now where am I? Hey, look at that. It made it. Not bad, huh?
Very silent, no?
Very silent. How are you?
Good.
And
How's the battery?
not bad. I've got 31 kilometers left on eco. So I rode half on eco and half on ride mode. So if I get on the ride, I have 27 kilometers of range left.
Alright, okay.
And I've done 45.6 kilometers.
From today.
Yeah, today. From the last charge, from 100% charge, at an average speed of an astounding 38 kilometers per hour. That's ridiculous. It's like coming on a cycle.